hope all of you had a good day. Welcome to Nishta IAS and Upsmart IAS, and this is your Reddy Prakash. So, as I have already told you in orientation session, we are starting an initiative of Anthro 300 plus. That is a 45-day challenge to make you get a 300 plus score in optionals, especially the anthropology. This is my target, and I'll give a recap of what I have told you in the orientation session, so that those people who have missed the orientation session will get to know what I told you, what I will be delivering, and what else I will be offering to you in this course for free. Okay, sure. It will take just a minute, so kindly bear with me. So, in the scope of Anthro Astra, our target is to score how much? Our target is to score 300 plus. Fine. And I have told you why people miss this 300 plus. This is because 1. The conceptual clarity. 2 is, what is the second one? That is the answer, structure and representation. And what is the third one? The time management. To complete all the 19 questions in optionals in the 3 hours exactly. The third part is time management. When we do these 3 things together, 300 plus can be guaranteed. Provided these things should have 1. A diagram in each question. 2. A theorist. 3. A structure. And all this should be included in the structure of IBC. That is introduction, body and conclusion. Fine with this? I told you to get 300, you need 3 main things. 1 is the conceptual clarity. 2 is the answer writing structure. And the third one is time management. And along with that, what else is required to value it? That is to get 1 mark extra in each question. That is 19 marks extra marks in paper 1 and paper 2. That is 38 marks in excess. Imagine you are getting 250, 260. And with this 1 mark extra out of each question will grant you to get around 300. Fine, right? Now, what else is required to get that value addition? A diagram in each question, theories and his theories, and a structure. Structure means dividing into dimensions. That is the structure, and all this should be in the structure of IBC. That is introduction, body, and conclusion. This is the way to get 300 plus. And I'll tell you now what I'll offer in the 45-day challenge. What I'll be offering, what this 45-day will be like is, of 45 days will be divided into syllabus, daily syllabus. Daily syllabus breakdown. I'll break the entire paper 1 and paper 2 syllabus into 45 days. That will be done like in today's class. I'll be covering 1.1, 1.2 and 1.3. That is 3 chapters from paper 1 in just 1 hour. I'll also be giving you a detailed notes of it in a very good manner. I'll show you that as well, and I'll be discussing how an answer should be represented on the paper. Fine. So a breakdown of syllabus. Next, once I break the syllabus, I'll be discussing the concepts and notes. What notes is essential? Like if we go through the standard books for just the 3 chapters of paper 1, we'll be having around 100 pages of notes. Is it practical to study 100 pages and to write in the 3 allocated pages in the final examination in a proper structure? No, that is not possible. We should minimize that 100 pages into 7 or 8 pages so that we can retain that in our brain in a proper way and represent it in a conceptual and with a clarity. Then our examiner, our evaluator will get impressed. If he is impressed, you get 300 plus. That is the conceptual clarity and notes making that will be given by me, and I will also guide you. Second thing I told you, answer writing skill, that is structure. I'll be discussing how these notes and concepts should be written in a structured manner. Third, the value addition part. That is the diagrams. Next, the theorist, examples, etc. So many things. With these things, we can get 300. So what I'll be doing is 45 days, breaking down the syllabus, giving the notes, giving the answer structure, and giving a value addition part. And I'll also be discussing most important questions. Most important questions on a daily basis. That is around 5 questions per day. On an odd day, it exceeds 5 questions, but more or less, it is 5 questions per day. Today, I will be discussing the entire 5 questions, but on the other days, it will be like 3 questions. I will discuss entirely. I will give you the structure. I will give you the notes. And 2 questions, I'll give you an approach. I'll give you the approach of how to attend those questions, and you should be attending them on paper. Fine. That is the way this 45-day challenge will be going on. I think this is the best way to do it. This is the one of the unique kind of initiative, and this is one of the kind in India. This is first kind in India. No initiative has been developed like this in entire India as of now. Fine. We'll be doing this for the first time. I hope all of you will be satisfied with my teaching and my content. And one more thing, as I told you, today we'll be discussing Anthropology syllabus. What is the syllabus I told you for the day 1? It is chapters 1.1, 1.2 and 1.3 of paper 1. What does chapter 1.1, 1.2 and 1.3 constitute in the paper 1? It is the meaning, scope and development of anthropology. 1.1 constitutes the meaning of anthropology. What is the meaning of anthropology? What exactly is anthropology? That area of aspect should be explored. Second is the scope. Scope means anthropology constitutes what and all. Where and all can we see anthropology? That is the scope. Third one is development. Development means how anthro as a subject took its origin, took its birth, and it's continued to become a modern anthropology. That is the chronology and evolution of anthropology is called as development of anthropology. Next, what is 1.2? 1.2 is about 1.2 is about relationships of anthropology with various disciplines. That is relationship of anthropology with other disciplines. What are the other disciplines in syllabus which are given are social science. One thing, social science, anthropology. Where is anthropology? Where is social science? How can we link both together? How can we differentiate both together? That is about relationship. Relationship means how are both related together? What concepts does it share? How can we differentiate it? That can be 1 or 2 points on a differentiating manner, but more or less relationship means how we are related to a other person. Means what you will be telling, we have so many commonalities. We have a common descent, a common lineage, common bloodline, or a common area, that is the locality, that is the birth, and many things. That similarly relationship with discipline means how is anthropology related to social science? How is anthropology related to behavioral science? Social science means society studying in a scientific manner. Behavioral science means behavior of human and non-human primates. Primates means monkeys, chimps, all those things. How they behave, that is behavioral science. The scientific study of the behavior is called as behavioral sciences. Life sciences, medical sciences, earth sciences, humanities. This is the second chapter is about making or seeing anthropology as a relating subject with other sciences. Science has so many disciplines like social, behavioral. There is the syllabus. The third chapter is main branches of anthropology. The main branches of anthropology. When it comes to the main branches of anthropology, it is divided into 4 main branches. It was given by Franz Boas. Franz Boas gave the 4 main branches of anthropology. That is socio-cultural anthropology, biological anthropology, archaeological, and linguistic. These are the 4 branches of anthropology. Now, I'll give you a hint. See, meaning of anthropology, development of anthropology, scope of anthropology. What is the meaning? You can just tell a definition of anthropology. What does anthropology do? That is meaning. Easy. Next, scope means where all you can see anthropology. You can tell these 4 branches same as scope. If you study this, you can write it for scope, more or less the same. And if you study the relationship with other disciplines, you can put it under the scope. That is more or less the same. And if you study the development means you will study various theories, various case studies, like starting from 17th century, 18th century, 19th century, 20th century, and the current century. The 5 centuries, the past 5 centuries can be studied as a development. Right, it's 17th century what we did, 18th century, 19th century, 20th, and currently what we are doing. That is the development. You should divide it in such a way so that the examiner will be like, okay, development means, when the anthropology as subject came up usually, and how it evolved in each century, who and all studied each century, what are the case studies, what are their theories, and all those things. Now we have a structured idea. Unlike the paragraph method, unlike the standard textbook method where we will be having a novel like thing, you will be having 50 to 80 pages just on the development of anthropology, which is not necessary. You should write those 80 pages in just 3 pages in the examination, but those 3 pages should be better than the 80 pages because of the representation, divided into the chronological century wise manner. That is about the development. I'm just telling what is the syllabus, the way your thinking should be, how your thinking should represent it on the paper. This will be done in the first class, but in the coming classes, I'll be doing the content majorly. I'll be setting your thinking process to get 300 plus. Once you set your thinking process to get 300 plus, then you can take the notes into your head. First, get your thinking set right. Next is relationship. I told you relationship means you should explore the commonalities. Where will you get the commonalities? Say, if it is social, what is social usually? Family is a social, marriage is a social, kinship is a social, religion is a social, political is a social, economic is a social. Everything comes under the head of social. So all these chapters you have it in the anthropology, right? Tell it like this is a social science. In anthropology, we study it under so and so theorist, under so and so theory. We have so and so case study. So we are bringing social science into anthropology. You have an idea, right? We are not studying this as a holistic, as a isolated chapter. We are studying each chapter of anthropology and bringing it here. That is how we use the syllabus. People, toppers will be telling, be 100% sure with syllabus, study the syllabus. Why will they tell study the syllabus? Because a chapter, that is a family, marriage, kinship, polity, economy, and various other things comes in the later part of the socio-cultural anthropology. But those content can be inculcated or added in these chapters. Fine. You use the syllabus, you know whatever you know, put it here. That is how you use the knowledge. Third thing, branches of anthropology. When it comes to branches of anthropology, the 4 main branches are there. Same thing. When it is socio-cultural anthropology, what usually they'll ask is scope and relevance, which is already there in the syllabus. Syllabus says branches of anthropology, their scope and syllabus. When it is called a scope, if it is biological anthropology, you have like 8 to 9 chapters on biological anthropology. Remember 8 to 9 chapters ka name. Write down each chapter ka name. Write down a theorist and this theory of each chapter. Explain them. That becomes the scope of biological anthropology. Next is archaeological anthropology. You know archaeology has so many chapters in anthropology. Write down each chapter ka name, each theory in each chapter. Done and dusted. Next is socio-cultural. As I told you, socio-cultural anthropology will be having family, marriage, kinship, descent, economy, polity, religion, so many things. So you can connect all of them, bring every content which you have in your head, bring the theories you studied in each chapter, put it in a page. The examiner is impressed. And then what else is there? Linguistic anthropology. Only few chapters are there. So you can study them like in a proper way. If it is asked, you are easy. So what I tell you is utilize the knowledge. I'll take a whiteboard, I'll explain this in detail so that your thought process is set right. See, by the syllabus, your toppers will be telling study the syllabus, by the syllabus exactly. Why do we need the syllabus? Our syllabus is divided into 4 main branches usually. Our entire anthropology syllabus is divided into 4 branches, right? You know them. Remember the chapter names. Remember the chapter names. Remember the theorists. You study in them, that is the scholars or theories, and the case studies you will study in them, or the examples you study in them, and the diagrams you will study in each chapter. This anyways, though you will do it. Now how to use the syllabus to get better marks? Reverse engineering. What is the reverse engineering? That is utilizing the existing knowledge. How will you utilize the existing knowledge? You have a chapter that is 1.2 and 1.3, fine, and 1.1 also, that is the scope. So put it them 1.2, 1.3, 1.3 and 1.1 ka chapters. You have this 1.1 ka chapters, whatever you study here, put it here, and students will be asking, sir, I don't remember the examples, I don't remember the theorists, I don't remember anything, theorist is very confusing for me. So all these things happen when you don't utilize the syllabus in a practical and a structural manner. Syllabus is given not for the completion purpose. Usually we'll be thinking like, oh, anthropology has so many chapters and it is our job to finish all the chapters, mug up, go and write it. It is not that way. We should look optional in such a manner. First chapter is interconnected to the second chapter. How is it interconnected? To understand how it is interconnected, first we should understand what all subtopics are there in both the chapters. The subtopics should be connected to the heading of the other chapter. That knack you should develop. The knack, that is a skill of answer writing. The skill is not about the quantity. How much you have is not necessary. The quality, that is the knack, skill. Utilizing the existing, the limited knowledge, molding it into a manner of demand of the question, putting on the paper and maintaining a proper structure, that is the dimensions, a diagram, a introduction, a conclusion, done and dusted. Evaluator is impressed like hell. Fine, easy with this. Now you got the idea of answer writing, right? Now we will discuss the concepts. We'll go back. Now I told you what is Anthro Asla. I have detailed about it. How to get 300. Why people will miss 300? If we want so, how we should utilize the existing knowledge. This is done. Now I will be telling you what should be studied. See, we have chapter 1.1 as meaning, scope and development of anthropology. What is meaning of anthropology? When we ask meaning of anthropology, we should be knowing a certain definitions. Definitions are easy, not a big task. Definitions are easy. See, anthropology is study of everything. Why I am telling study of everything? Science has so many kinds of sciences, and the scope of anthropology we discussed: biology, sociocultural, archaeological, language. What else is left here? We are studying everything. Humanity we are studying, and we are studying engineering also. That is archaeology and various other things. We are studying everything. Archaeology is everything. That is, archaeology is science of man, study of everything. That is the science of man. How a man came up, how a man evolved. This is studying that in a scientific manner is science of man. Archaeology, science of man. It was given by A.L. Kroeber. A.L. Kroeber told archaeology is a science of man. Next, M.J. Herskowitz told this science of man was expanded like study of man and his works. Science of man become man and his works. What the man is doing and his works. Studying that in a scientific manner. is called as anthropology. This was told by Herskovits. Next. Now I told anthropology is everything. This was given by Kluckhorn. Kluckhorn, what he told is, out of all the sciences, we know all the sciences, out of all the sciences which study various aspects of the mind, behavior studies various aspects, social sciences studies various aspects, life sciences studies various aspects, various other things, right? Out of all the sciences which studies various aspects of man, anthropology is the one which comes to nearest to the total study of man. So the keyword here is, we'll list down the keywords now. So what A.L. Kroeber told? A.L. Kroeber told archaeology is the science of man. First one is science. This is the way you remember the definitions. A.L. Kroeber told it is a science of man. And what does Herskovits tell? Man and his works. Herskovits tells it like man and his work. Anthropology is study of man and his works. And what does Kluckhorn? Kluckhorn tells us total study of man. Fine with this? Definitions are not difficult if it is studied in a proper manner. The way you should remember becomes important. It is not necessary to mug up each and every word. Once you know the keywords, the keyword here is, say, the keyword in A.L. Kroeber is science, scientific study of the man. The keyword in Herskovits is man and his works. The keyword in Kluckhorn is total study of the man, and he compares it to all the sciences, compares it to all sciences. Fine with this, right? This is the definition of anthropology. So I am telling, utilize the content in a proper manner. This is one thing. Now we want the definition of anthropology. Whenever the word anthropology comes in the question, be it in chapter 1.1, 1.2, 1.3 or any chapters, if you see anthropology, put a definition there. Now we will know 3 definitions. Even if you get anthropology as a keyword, in 2 to 3 questions in a question paper, you have 3 of them. Put it down easily and connect a theory and theorist in introduction. He is well and happy. Oh, the evaluator. Fine, right? This is the definition of anthropology. Next. The next part is, now we know the definition of anthropology. But what does this definition mean by? What does this definition mean by? It means like, see, it is called as science of man. That is a scientific study of man. I'll list them in detail. First, science of man means scientific study of man. Second thing is total study of man. That is holistic study. Third one, it is study of everything. That is everywhere and anytime. Everywhere and anytime. We will study like BC, 1000 BC ago, Paleolithic era, Neolithic era and the current era. That is the time. Study across the time. Third thing, across the space. We will study Africa also, we will study India also, we will study Europe also. That is across the space. This is the meaning of anthropology. Next, we have sociocultural. Socioculture, I told, religion, marriage, family, so many things. And we have differences. Differences like the marriage somewhere is different, in the western part is different, marriage here is different. People, the way they look in some other continent is different. Here the way they look here is different in India. That is human unity. That is, we have unity. That is, all of them are human. We have this knowledge that everyone are human, but there is diversity. Fine with this? Easy? Next, interdisciplinary nature. Why it is interdisciplinary? So many subjects are, I discuss so many sciences and so many subjects, archaeology, history, so many things. So this is the meaning of anthropology. Now the etymology. Etymology means actual meaning of the word. The word anthropology has a word, means what? How do we divide the word? That is, anthropos. Anthropology is derived from 2 words. That is anthropos and logos. Anthropos and logos. Anthropos means human. Logos means study or science. Human study. Anthropos is human and logos or logi is study. Human study is called as anthropology. This is about etymology. This is fine, right? I'll discuss why this now again. See, it is called a scientific study. Why is it called a scientific study? What is the example? See, using fossil analysis. This is a fossil. You will analyze this using fossil analysis to reconstruct human evolution. We will be studying human evolution. That is, this evolution we will be studying, right? This is evolution of human. We will study this based on the fossil analysis. But why are we studying based on the fossil analysis? We are studying fossils as part of a science. We are doing carbon dating and various other scientific methods. That is, it is a scientific study. We are not studying evolution just by some folklore or some stories. We are studying in a scientific manner, a technological manner. That is why anthropology is a scientific manner. But if it goes to the history, evolution of human, in history means someone would have written something that we should remember. That is history. Or someone would have told something that will be in our head. That is history. That is mere words and writings are not considered as scientific. Scientific is something which can be proven. If it is proven, it is scientific. Fossil analysis proves the evolution. So, it is scientific study. Next thing, holistic study. Holistic study. One thing, I'll tell you why holistic. I'll tell you why holistic. See, keep it like you study a tribe. You study a tribe. This is a tribe. People of tribe, they are hand holding each other and they are dancing around a fire. Keep like they are dancing around a fire. They are dancing around the fire. These are tribals. This is fire. Fine. And now we have their huts. That is the houses. They have their houses. Now, if you say, sir, I will study tribals. How will you study tribals? What and all you will study from tribals? Now you tell what and all you will be studying from the tribals. You will be studying their social characteristics. Social means you will be studying their family, their marriage culture, their religion. This is the family, this is the fire, there is a religion and many things. And you will be studying their archaeology. That is, how have they evolved, all those things. Third thing, you will be studying their linguistic part. What is their language? Excuse. You will be studying their linguistic part. Fourth thing, you will be studying their biological aspect. Like if they have some specific diseases or if they have specific skin tone. Say, you have like Andamanis and Sentinels and Nicobaris in our Andaman and Nicobar Islands, whom they appear completely different from the mainland Indians. They are somewhat similar to Africans in the looks wise. How are they? Why are they looking in such way? That is the race, morphology and everything. See, now you are studying so many things. This is what? Interdisciplinary. And you are studying them together. That is the holistic. If you study each of them, each one is a discipline. Each one is a discipline. Discipline means each one is a subject. Discipline means subject. Each study is a subject. And if you study everything together, you have so many subjects. And if you study everything together, that becomes holistic. Fine with this? This is how you study the tribals. Fine. Scientific study understood, holistic study. You would have understood holistic study. Next, the interdisciplinary nature. That also you have understood. The other example is, you might have heard that the origin of human took place in Africa and he went to various other continents Then he took a new form of morphology, that is he became white skinned in Europe, he became brown skin in India, then he became black skin in Africa. That is, there is one concept called as out of Africa model, that is a man origined in Africa, then he went to various parts of the world. And to prove this, this is the history, and to prove this history, some genetics like Y chromosomes and various other things were studied. So this was interdisciplinary. To study one thing, to study the history, biology has been used. That is the interdisciplinary nature. This is also an example for interdisciplinary. Next, study across time. I told you study across time. This is Stone Age, Paleolithic era. And this is the mobiles and tablets and laptops are today's era, modern era, current era. Why are Paleolith? How we study Paleolith? The rocks as a source of technology. Rocks are used for hunting, gathering, various other things. That becomes their subsistence. That becomes their lifeline. But lifeline for today is laptops. This is the study across time. We are studying the time before, the time earlier, the time now, and time later also. How it will be evolved further. That is the study of time across. Next, study across the space. These are Inuits. They live in the cold areas. Inuits. They live in the polar regions usually. Inuits. And these are Maasai people. Masai Mara tribe. They live in Kenya. Now we are studying people in polar regions. We are studying people in Kenya. We are studying people in Andaman and Nicobar. That is, we are studying people across the space. Across the space, done. And human unity and diversity. I already told you. There is unity among us, that is, all of them are human. But there is diversity, like a woman from China, a man from India, and women from Saudi, a man from Europe. We have this diversity also. Next, I told you interdisciplinary. Etymology, that is the name, meaning of the name. This is the meaning of anthropology, actual meaning of anthropology. These are definitions of anthropology. When these are broken down, we'll get the meaning of anthropology. What anthropology is actually. I hope now you understood the actual meaning of anthropology. Now the question will be like a 10 marker. Meaning of anthropology. That's all. Just 3 words. Meaning of anthropology, 10 marker. What you will be writing? You will be writing a definition. Pick one of them. Meaning of anthropology. Pick each one of them. Give an example. Now you know the various example. Going further, I will be discussing various chapters. You will be getting to know the theorists, their theories and case studies. You can link each one of them here. Easy. And you should give a conclusion. I'll tell you in the later part how a conclusion should be molded. Conclusion is not something like for each chapter you have a specific conclusion. In that way, you will not remember conclusion at all. For each question, each chapter, you shouldn't have a particular conclusion. You should have a set of few conclusions which can be universally used for various chapters. That is a way of thinking. Now we have completed with meaning of anthropology. Next. Next is scope. I told you scope can also be divided into main branches of anthropology. The scope of anthropology or 4 main branches of anthropology. Same answer can be written. The 4 main branches of anthropology are sociocultural, biological, archaeological and linguistic. Fine with that? Linguistic. Now, first thing we'll be studying is biological anthropology. When the question of biological anthropology comes up in the question paper, what you should be writing? You should be writing a definition, then the scope and the relevance. It will be like meaning, scope and relevance of biological anthropology. This will be the question. Usually, and one more thing, the scope is more or less similar to the relevance. I'll tell you why. And usually they'll ask either scope or relevance, not together usually. And if it is asked, I'll tell you how it can be differentiated also. So that we should be prepared for anything. That is, study the syllabus, prepare the notes for the syllabus, prepare in such a way it can be as it is replicated in the examination. You shouldn't think in the examination. You're thinking, do all the thinking part while you prepare for the examination, not in the examination. In the examination, you should be a robo. Just read, understand, have a proper structures in the mind, a proper clarity, a peace of mind that you have finished everything. You can answer anything and everything under the sun. Go there, explore yourself, enjoy 3 hours of examination, come out happily. This is my goal, and ultimately score 300 plus. Fine. Now we'll come back to biological anthropology. What is biological anthropology? We'll tell. See, biological anthropology is the study of humans as biological organisms. We are studying human as a biological organism. We are an organism, you know that. Biological organism means biology will be constituting the evolution, how the evolution took place, the genetics, the variation, primatology, phonology. We will discuss each of them. These are biological study. These are subcomponents of biology. And studying human as each subcomponent of biology is called as biological organism study. That is about biological anthropology. The definition was given by Washburn. Washburn gave this definition. Fine with that? If there is one thing you have to remember, that will be the definitions. That will be the definitions, not the examples and theorists. I'll tell you why. Because I'll give a bunch of theorists and examples where you can utilize them in everywhere. You should be like, I'll have so many theorists, examples, case studies. If any question is asked, I'll pick one of them, put it there. That is your task. For specific question, you are not having a specific theorist and case study. That is my task. That will be your thinking. Now, coming back, what is biological anthropology? What is the scope of biological anthropology? Scope means I told you what all it constitutes. What are the subcomponents of biology? One is the evolution. Go back to the origin. We will be studying the evolution. Evolution, the chimp, modern man, that is Homo sapiens sapiens. Chimp to modern man. Or in somewhere in the between, you will be getting Australopithecus. Australopithecus. This is the evolution. It can be like evolution, study from Australopithecus to Homo sapiens. Study from Australopithecus to Homo sapiens. That is the example. Evolution of human. Second thing, genetics. You will be studying them, but how will you study? You will study through genetics. They had so genetics. We have so genetics. Few commonalities, few differences. That is about the genetics. That is the heredity, how the genetics are passed on. That is the DNA, that is the base pairs and genes, then the genome and the blood types. This is about the genetics. Next is the variation. Now evolution has happened. We have studied in a scope of or a lens of genetics. But there is a variation. This is a European man. This is an African man. This is somewhere an Indian man. And there is a height difference also. Morphological difference. Why that variation? That is population differences, skin color, stature, so on so. Next is primatology. See, one thing is humans are considered are primates, but when it comes to primatology, it is usually study of primates except human. That is study of chimps, monkeys, apes, so many things. Non-human primate behavior. Primatology is study of non-human primates and how they behave. Is the primate behavior. Next is forensics. Forensics means remains of the dead. Scientific study of the remains of the dead is called as forensic. Adaptation to cold regions, high altitude regions, adaptation to Indian plains, adaptation to African deserts. This is called as adaptation. All this will be studied under the biological aspect. Now what you can do is, sir, you gave just one word and one example for this. In examination, just biological anthropology, meaning and scope shall be asked for 20 marks. What I'll do, sir? I'll tell you what we'll do at that point of time. What you will be doing is, evolution is asked. You have a separate chapter on evolution. You will be studying evolution, each organism separately. That you can write. So many theorists come for each organism. You can write one theorist. We have genetics. We have a separate chapters on genetics, separate chapter on heredity, DNA, blood types. We will be studying theorist, case studies, examples, various other things. Bring it here, add it, conclude it. Next you have variations. You have so many chapters and scales that can be utilized in the variation. Next, primatology, gene Goodall study, various other concepts can be utilized here. Forensics, again separate chapter is there. Adaptation to high altitude adaptation, there is one more chapter on adaptation. What I am telling is, you should have a structure of, this is the question, I have this definition, I have so and so subpoints and subheadings, but I will not be studying each case study or example what should be written for the subheading. Rather, I will be having one chapter itself later in the syllabus. That is why I am studying the syllabus. That is why I am remembering what are there in the syllabus. I will be utilizing those knowledge here. This is a smartness. Don't be like, we will study everything again here, again there. Double task, bulking of the notes, lesser revision, ultimately not getting 300. If you should get 300, then what you should do? Smartness. Smartness is what will get you to 300. Understood this? Next, what is the relevance? No, I told you scope is more or less a relevance. If scope is not asked, you write the same as the relevance. If scope is asked, then you write them only. See, relevance becomes traces human origin. One is traces human origin. You can write these only, evolution as human origin. Out of Africa model, so and so theory said so and so thing. We have so and so case study, so and so genetic study. You can write them right. Next is AIDS forensic identification. You have forensic chapter itself. Write them. Bring the case studies, case laws. Biological diversity and health, adaptation, diversity, health variation, blood groups, various other things. I am just telling, if it is asked as a scope, you write them as a subjects and give example. If it is asked as a relevance, keep it like a advantage. Like if you study this will be the use. We can study human origin, we can study forensics, we can study biological diversity. That is what you can study is the relevance. How you can apply it in the society is the relevance. What you should study, what is there in that chapter is called as, in that biology is called as scope. Understand the basic difference, mold it according to the demand of the question. That is the key aspect. I am preparing yourself so that you will have a clear knowledge what the question paper will be, how your answer should look like. If that is done, 50% of your anthropology is done. Conceptual clarity, answer writing structure and value addition, that is the presentation. Conceptual clarity I am giving you. You know what anthropology is now, pakka. You know the definition, 3 definitions simply in a simple manner. One is the scientific study of the man. 2 is man and his works. 3 is the most holistic study of man, the totality study of the man. Just 3 words, you have 3 definitions. That is how you study definitions. You have the definition, you have the meaning. What does anthropology mean? Like I gave you so and so 7 points. Just write the subheadings in a paper. That is done. Next, each branch you are taking, we are exploring the meaning. That is the definition. Then the scope. Then the relevance. Fine. Easy with this. It should be easy, yaar. Yes, it is easy. Next, socio-cultural anthropology. One more thing. I'll tell you. Let me go to a notes format which I'll be giving to you in a soft copy. See, this is the format of the notes which I'll be giving you in a soft copy in a A4 size manner, which you can just save it in a tab or a mobile, which you can revise in a nice manner. Day 1, so and so chapters, so and so syllabus, meaning of anthropology, Kroeber told so, Herskovitz told so and so, Cluckon told so and so. Then meaning of anthropology, the scientific study, holistic study across time, space, unity, diversity, interdisciplinary, and etymology. You have them, easy. Next is scope or the 4 main branches. One is the biology, a definition you have, a scope you have, a evolution or relevance you have it. Next is socio-cultural anthropology, definition, scope, examples and relevance. Done and dusted. Next is archaeological. Definition, scope, examples, relevance. Easy. Linguistic anthropology. Definition, scope, relevance. Easy. What I am telling is, I'll be giving you the notes. You need not worry for anything. Just focus on the classes, get the conceptual clarity. Don't be like, I'll be writing the classes, running notes I'll be writing. Instead, what you should do is, somewhere if you get stuck, somewhere if you don't understand my class, it is a human behavior naturally, because your mind will not focus for a longer time. The focus of a mind hardly will be for 40 minutes. After 40 minutes, it will divert. Pause that what you should be writing is, after 40 minutes, pause it. Think what all I have taught in the past 40 minutes or the past 20 minutes. Write it down in the paper. Just brush your brain. Glance it for 1 or 2 minutes. That gives you a glimpse of what we have studied. And connect them for the next 20 to 30 minutes. That is the way you can do it. Or you can also keep like, Sir has told biological anthropology now. So what was the definition? What was the scope? He has told 7 points now. Can I remember 4 of them? He has told 3 relevance. Can I remember 2 or 3 of them? Just give an exercise for your brain. Let it work. Let it work. Don't just keep hearing. It won't stay. It will pass through the other ear. Give a work for your brain. Get the conceptual clarity. Mainly focus on how I am utilizing the content to be used in the various manner. Limited content, maximum utilization, maximum marks. And structure it. That is the way. Now, we'll go back to the slides. That is the second branch, socio-cultural anthropology. Now, what is socio-cultural anthropology? Socio-cultural anthropology is the comparative study of human societies and cultures. What we do in the socio-cultural anthropology is the word socio and culture. It is society and culture. How we will study the society and culture? We will compare the societies from various parts of the world, from various times of the world, across time and society, across time and space. We will compare the society and cultures. We will compare them and we will study them. That is called as socio-cultural anthropology. It was given by Hobel. One definition is enough here. You need not remember 4 or 5 definitions. I have given 3 definitions for anthropology because the word anthropology shall be repeated at least 3 to 4 times in a question paper. Social cultural anthropology once or twice is done. Will not be having so many times. So remember one definition, utilize it, think in the way of definition, why author is telling so, then you'll get the knowledge. See, comparison of the society and culture across the time and space. Across the time and space, that is the society and culture comparison is called as socio-cultural anthropology. You got this easy? It is easy. Now, what are the components of socio-cultural discipline? The components are family and kinship. We'll study the family across the world and the kinship, that is the relatives across the world, how the relatives are formed, and then marriage and religion. You can keep them as separate things also. I have just clubbed it. Okay, you can keep family, kinship, marriage, religion separately. Next, political cultures, political structures, political cultures, economic systems. That is one part of the society. Our society has a polity in nature. We have a democratic society. We have panchayats. But some other parts has dictatorial culture, Russia, communism, and cultural change. We have a culture, but how that culture is changing. Culture 200 years ago, patriarchy was there. Culture today, we are moving towards gender equality. It is not achieved yet, but we are moving towards, efforts are being put. That is cultural change. And what influences cultural change also? That is globalization, Sanskritization, westernization, modernization, so many things. And customs and rituals is also part of culture. Studying them, social institutions like the clans, councils, families, schools, these are social institutions. So studying all of them, that is the components of socio-cultural. Now we will be getting a knack. Okay, Sir was telling biological anthropology means components of biology. What are the components of biology? Evolution, heredity, adaptation, variation, blah blah blah. Then what is socio-cultural? That is society and culture. What will be there in society and culture? Family will be there, marriage will be there, Kinship also will be there. Then what will be having? We'll be having religion. We'll be having polity also. Our society has polity. Our society also has economy. Our society also changes. That is, the cultural change is also happening. Our society has rituals. So many things. That is how you should think. Biology means you will be having those subcomponents. So socio-cultural means you will be having these subcomponents. Study of these subcomponents is the scope. Applying them is the relevance. That is the advantages of studying them is the relevance. Mold the answer as per the demand of the question. Even you need not study relevance. Just remember them. If relevance is asked, put it down there. Mold it as per the demand of the question. Just that. Don't overstudy. Don't overstudy. Smart study. But put in your hard works. Put in your hard works. Toppers will be telling hard work plus smart works is equals to results. But you should be knowing where the smartness should be applied and where the hard work should be applied. Hard work should be there in the answer writing, mock test, and mentorship and evaluation, and the guts, courage, morality to accept the change and improve my answer writing. Where the smartness should be there, it should be there in the way of thinking, the way you think, the way you utilize the content is the smartness. Next I'll tell you what these are. What can be the examples? See, family and kinship. How will study family and kinship, sir? See, Kasi is a tribal or a society in Meghalaya and states nearby. Kasi society. Okay, they have matrilineal. Matrilineal means women heads. A woman is head of the family. Earlier, grandma was the head. Then our mothers and our sisters become the head. Then our sisters will become the head. But when it comes to Tamil Nadu and other regions, it is more of patrilineal. Patrilineal means lineages headed by patri. That is the fathers. Our grandfather will be the head of the house. Our father was the head of the house. And we as the men will be the head of the house. This was more or less the culture, and it is being changed slowly. So we are comparing Kasi's matrilineal to mainland India. That is an example for family and kinship. Next, marriage and religion. Marriage and religion. See, how we will study marriage and religion, sir? See, a particular sect, a religion has particular rituals and culture. Hindus has a particular rituals and culture. And then Toda's polyandry. Polyandry means each women in Toda. Toda is, those are tribes usually on the hills of the Ooty region. Hills of the Ooty region. What the women will be doing there is, she will be having two or more men as their husbands, and usually it is fraternal polyandry. That is, if I have 2 to 3 brothers, all of them will be the husbands of a particular woman. That is called as fraternal polyandry. Fraternal polyandry. That is practiced in Toda, and that can be compared to the polyandry in Kasi, or one man, one woman kind of culture in the mainland India or the evolved India. That is to study. We are comparing it. Next, political and economic systems. Political governance. Governance today and governance in the tribal regions. Governance earlier. That is the panchayats earlier, tribal panchayats and gram nayalas earlier. But governance today is more of official in nature. Keep it like gram panchayats. Next, barter system. Earlier there was, I'll give you this, you give me this, barter system. But now it is monetary based exchange. I'll give you this much money, that particular item costs this much money, I'll give you the money, give that item. It is monetary. That is fine. Next, this is about political and economic system, how we are comparing it across time and space. Cultural change. Why the change in culture happens? It can be due to Sanskritization, Westernization, modernization, many other things, globalization. Fine. Customs and rituals, traditions and festivals, we'll be studying them. Social institutions like the family, school, panchayats. These all are the institutions. These all are the, and we have a separate chapter where we will explore who are the members, who are the groups, what are the institutions. We have definitions for each of them. Now you just understand institutions means family, groups, family, schools, and many other things. Those are the institutions. Subcomponents, you have this examples. You can remember the examples, put it down there. You will have a particular theorist at the end of the study. Now you can't be like, I'll be writing theorist in the first day itself. Don't do that. Don't overtake the information. At the end of the 45 days, you will be having so many theories. Utilize them everywhere. After this day, for the second day itself, I'll be doing the theorist chapter. There I'll tell you how to utilize the theorist in every chapter. That will give you extra 1 mark. Now the relevance is more or less the same. Explains cultural diversity. Why the diversity? Why there is a change in culture? Informs public policy and development. How there should be public policy and development. What should be the public policy in polyandry region? What should be the public policy in mainland India? How we should develop tribal regions? How we should develop mainland India? Fosters social integration. No tribe is different. No SC is different. No African is different. No American is different. Everyone is human. Homo sapiens. Just that, repeat them. That is the relevance. Mold it according to the demand of the question. Easy with the socio-cultural anthropology. Done. Just a slide. You will be knowing what does it mean, how you should write the answers. Now you got the answer. Next is archaeological anthropology. What is archaeology? See, archaeology is the study of human past through material remains. Material remains. I told you. If you study the human through books and folklore, it becomes history. Sorry. But if you study through fossil remains in a scientific manner, then it becomes archaeology. Archaeological anthropology. That is a scientific study is archaeology. Archaeological anthropology is part of anthropology. That is studying the past of human through material remains. That is the fossils, material remains. These are the material remains. These are the human past. To study them, we use why this was used, why this is in such a shape, what uses might this particular shape can be have. That can be the scope of study, the way we study the material remains. Fine. Next is the scope. And this definition was given by Graham Clark. Graham Clark gave this definition. Scope of archaeological anthropology. What is the scope? One is prehistoric culture. Studying prehistoric culture. Prehistoric means the cultures before the history has appeared. History means written before that. That is analyzing Paleolithic and Neolithic society is called as prehistoric. Excavation, Harappan, Bhimbetka. We'll study them, right? How? Excavation. Material cultures, pottery, stones, statues. All those are materials. Dating techniques, carbon-14 dating technique. Civilizations, Harappan civilization, Mesopotamia civilization, Egyptian civilization. We'll study them also. Cultural evolution, how the culture changed. First there was no fire, then fire came, then fire was used, then iron came, then a mega cities was built. This becomes the cultural evolution. These are the subcomponents. Again I am telling to remember it. All that you have to remember is the names of the subcomponents. If you remember what all it constitutes, you can write everything and anything under it. Then you can bring examples, theorist. It is easy, not a big task at all. Just remember them. And in the examination, if you write points, me and many other toppers they'll expect like to have a subheading, a point and an example like this. You should be having a subheading, explanation and an example. This is how your answer should be like. It shouldn't be like essay. Essay will not tell the demand of the question. It will not convey the demand of the question. You can write points, subheadings, examples. Points, subheadings, example. A structured manner and a diagram. Fine. Now the relevance, what the relevance will be, again repeat, reconstruct history before written records. That is the prehistoric cultures. Explains rise of civilizations, cultural evolution. Preserves global heritage, same thing. So what I am telling is, you have a knowledge, mold it according to the demand of the question. Fine, easy. Now you would have thought, archaeological anthropology, question for answer for this is only one slide, only 2 minutes explanation. Sir, I have 5 to 6 pages of notes and they're asking for it for 10 marker. I don't know how I should represent that 6 pages, how I should present that 6 pages in a structured manner. Had some other faculty given in such a manner, I would have pleased. Right now my anthropology would have been simple. That is my aim. I'm not complicating your things. I'm simplifying your study. My aim is to simplify your study, simplify the concept, structure our answer writing and value add to them. So that our target is, again repeating, our target is how much? Our target is 300 plus. To get them, you should be having 3 things. What are the 3 things? Repeat with me. What are the 3 things? Repeat in your mind. Conceptual clarity. Always keep them in mind. I repeat them so many times. I know this is the 3rd time in the class I am repeating these 3 things. But I'll be repeating 3 times in every class also. Because we should never miss these 3 things. Conceptual clarity. Answer writing structure. 3rd is value addition. Value addition. And these 2 things should go hand in hand. Few of them will be telling you can get concepts first, understand the concepts first. Later you can focus on the answer writing structure. What will you do with the concepts without the structure? You will study for 1 year, so many pages, so many author books. You will study the concepts like, okay, I'll become a PhD holder now. But you don't know to write the answer in 2 pages. What is the use there? You are not getting anthropology doctorate here. You are here to write it in 2 pages, clear the examination. That is your aim. For that, get the concepts just like here. Get to know how it should be represented on the answer paper and what should be the value addition. This can be the later part. This I'll agree, because theorist example doesn't come at one place. If you study over a few chapters, an example or theorist in some part of the anthropology, in some part of the chapters can be utilized in the various chapters. That is a knack. But these 2, no compromise, zero compromise, zero tolerance policy. If you get a conceptual clarity on a particular topic, immediately go back to a PYQ. Think, brush your mind, brainstorm. Think, what if this is a PYQ, what should be the introduction of mine? What should be the structure of the answer? How I should divide the answer? What should be the subheadings? What example can I give? Examples, okay, if I don't give, what should be the subheadings and what should be the conclusion? And if all this is manageable, then what can be the value addition? That is the 3rd part. But if you have the conceptual clarity, immediately answer writing structure. That is the way. Because once you get the concept, you fix to a particular manner. Okay, I have the concept, this is my answer. Done and dusted. No second revision, no coming back later. After 3 months, I'll prepare the notes. That all is not happening here. After 3 months, you will be like done with anthropology. I'm not, this optionals and all is not a manageable thing. I'll move to essay. That is how it happens, no? I have faced this. That is how it happens. If you start with something, get it done. If you feel these classes are helpful, kindly share it to your friends. That will be helpful to me also. And if you feel there should be an improvement in my teaching, kindly comment it down. I'll improve it for you people. Ultimately, my goal is to simplify your concepts. Okay, thank you so much. Next is linguistic anthropology, the 4th part. What is linguistic? The name tells, lingvi, that is the language. Language anthropology. What is language anthropology? It is the study of language, as I told you, in social and cultural context. It is a part of socio-cultural anthropology only, but it is studied as one of the main branch. That is, studying language as part of society and culture is called as linguistic anthropology. And this was given by Delheims. Easy. Just that, don't mug up the definitions. You should keep like, okay, this is the definition. I understand the definition. I understand 1 or 2 keywords in the definition. Then I'll write it. It need not be like Linguistic anthropology is study of the language in the socio-cultural context. Just remember language in society and culture. Now, if you have to write it in the examination, all you have to remember is Delheim's language in social and cultural. Then you can keep like linguistic anthropology refers to language as a study in society and culture. That is enough. That is enough. No pakka definition is required. All that you should need is the crux, the meaning of the definition and the scholar. English is not important here. The concept is important here. Understood now? That is why I am telling understand the concepts, understand the definitions. Now, what can be the components of the language? Components of the language. It can be like origin of language. Origin of language. How the origin of language took place. Some person will tell God gave us language. Some person will tell some theory is there called as bow theory, and some person will be telling there is some theory called as gesture theory. What is gestures? You know gestures, right? If you want someone to come near you, will be telling like come towards me. Pravas will be telling right, Om, come to my room. That is gestures. Next, if you want someone to go away, will be telling like chal chal. That is gestures. So a theorist came up and he told like language evolved from gesture. If you want someone to go, initially it was like this. Then it became oh go. That is gestures evolution, language evolving from the gestures. That is gesture theory. Easy with this evolution of speech from the gestures. Next is language and culture. That is linking speech to social norms. Linking speech to social norms. Now we will be understanding, thinking like, okay, language evolution is easy, but how is language related to the culture? I'll tell you. See, this is father's brother. Father's brother. What you will call him? You will call him as Chacha. You will call him as Chacha. And you have your father. What you will call him? You will call him as Papa. Papa, Pita, Appa, Daddy, many things. And you have mother, sister, Mausi. Okay, mother, sister, Mausi. And you have your brother, Bhaiya. Your sister, Behen. So how will you behave with your father's brother? Your behavior with father's brother, your uncle, your behavior with your uncle is different compared to your behavior with your sister. Your sister, no. See, I don't have a sibling, I don't have a sister, but even if I get a like my cousin sister, I'll always be beating her, or I'll take the beatings from her. Something or the other will be going on between us, because I know that she is my sister, because I call her as sister, I call her as Akka. And father's brother, my father's brother, they have the name of Chacha, uncle. My behavior with them will be like uncle. I'll not be like uncle, what? My father will come and hit me, because there has been given a name, there is a speech like uncle, Chacha, sister, Akka, Behen. That is sister. And mother, the behavior with mother is different, completely emotional. That is mother, Amma, Mama. That is mother. Why? Each of them has a speech. Each of them has a component of speech. Different names. Now you think. How is language related to culture? How are you behaving with each language name? That is, you have a particular term for each of them, and your culture with each of them is different. Understood how language is related to culture? Now, if there is a bouncer question in the examination, language and culture, 10 marks, direct 10 marks, what you will do? Think. Now, there is a direct question. I don't have any knowledge about it. This is me thinking from your perspective. The question in examination in 2026 ka mains is language and culture. Direct hit. You don't have any syllabus point for this or anything you say per se. Language and culture. What you will be doing, you have to write 2 pages, or at max at least 1.5 page at least. Minimum is 1.5 page at least for a 10 marker. What you will be doing? What will be your introduction? 3 parts I told you. Introduction, body, conclusion. These 3 should be there. What you will be writing for them now? Here you have introduction, you have language and culture. You know that language and culture belongs to linguistic anthropology, and linguistic anthropology as a main branch was given by Franz Boas. Franz Boas gave 4 main branches of anthropology, and one of them is linguistic anthropology, and language and culture comes under the linguistic anthropology. And linguistic anthropology refers to, who gave the definition? Delheims gave a definition. Write it down there. Study of the language in your own terms, not the exact definition. Study of language in society and cultural context. Done, understood? Intro, pakka introduction. You are writing Franz Boas, you are writing Delheims, you are writing linguistic anthropology, and you are repeating language and culture. Introduction is easy. See, now you didn't study any scholar here. Now you didn't study any theorist. Initially in the introduction itself, you are naming 2 of them. How? Retaining the knowledge. Limited knowledge, maximum utilization. Fine. Now you are getting a knack of it and I can sense it. Next, body. Body. Language and culture. Now that you don't have any information or data based on the topic, all that you know is just the meaning of the question. Based on the language, we can have particular culture. Particular culture, right? First thing, what you can do when you don't have the, see, this knack, just sit in what you can do in the 5 minutes. One is the evolution. Evolution of language and culture. Initially, there was no speech. There was no particular culture associated to a particular society. That can be your first point, and you can give some Paleolithic societies as your examples. And second thing is the present cultural behavior based on the language. Cultural behavior based on the language. Just now we discussed various linguistic terms, that is uncle, sister, mother, under cultural behavior according to the linguistic term. That cultural behavior thing you can explore. You can explore them, right? Third thing, cultural change. Cultural change. Now what is the Gen Z doing? What is the Gen Z doing? It is calling everybody as bro. My sister comes and she'll call her friends as a bro. And she is another sister. And she is another sister. She is also a girl, but she is called in the name of bro. And the behavior is more or less, you can observe them. This is not my criticism. And you can observe actually. And if you have observed actually, kindly comment it down, yes. Because there is your sister. Imagine there is your sister. And your sister has 4 or 5 girls as their friends. And your sister calls everybody as brother. This is current generation. And your mother in the previous generation, that is 10 or 20 years ago, was a girl and she had 3 to 4 sisters. Imagine, like, just a second. This is your mom. And this is your sister. Now your mother had friends. 3 to 4 girls as her friends in a school or study days. That is generation 1. This is generation 2. Sister. Now your sister have 3 to 4 girls as her friends. What was the behavior of your mother in that generation with her friends? What she used to call her friends as? She used to call her friends as a friend only. Friend in a native terms. It can be called in many names. A friend only. She used to term them as friend. Now, your sister will be terming her friends as bro or dude. Now, the behavior of your mother with her friends, if you can inquire with your mother, you can do it, was more or less like what a friend will be doing with a friend. Now, it will be like a brother. Frequent shouting with each other, frequent fighting with each other, all those things. And a few behavior like how a girl behaves with her brother. I mean with her brother. How she behaves with her brother kind of thing. But then it used to be more of a formal thing. Now it used to be more like a brother and sister thing. Why this change you can, I don't know if this can be a thesis. If someone is from a PhD, this can be a thesis. Because based on the change in the word they tell, their behavior is also slightly changing. Not a maximum change because this is just 10 to 20 years. But imagine the same after 50 years. The behavior with the friends will it be the same? Can you tell? Behavior will be the same? No. It changes. It changes. That change is cultural change. Cultural change associated to the language. Associated to the language. Now we understood? I hope you understood. That is language. Okay, I should discuss the answer, right? I forgot it totally. Forgive me. Now we should, you can keep it like cultural change with the language. Cultural change with the language. That can be one thing. Fourth one, you can explore the causes of cultural change. Causes of cultural change. That can be like globalization, modernization, digitization, Sanskritization, westernization, all those can be causes. And you know many scholars for each of them like M.N. Srinivas and many other persons. And you can bring it them here, bring their book and their work here, and you can keep like this can be compared to the current generation's change. Current generation's ka change. These are the causes, these are the cultural changes, and you can keep it like the conclusion. The last one you can keep it like the conclusion. I'll tell you the conclusions at the end. Okay. So now you see we had zero knowledge. You got a definition, you had Franz Boas, Delheim's in the theorist part. Now you should write 1.5 page ka or 1 page ka body. You have evolution, you can write them. You have cultural behavior, you can write them. You have cultural change, you can write them. You have causes, you can write them. Is it difficult? Not 2 pages or 3 pages, 4 pages can also be written very easily. Don't think a question in an examination is a bouncer. I don't know, it is out of syllabus. Sir has not taught me, I have not studied. That thing doesn't work out. Toppers will be like, give any question, I have a particular content, I'll mold that content as per the demand of the question. I'll put it in the question paper in a structured manner, that is IBC, and I'll draw a diagram. So that the examiner should be impressed. My question and answer should be somewhat unique, a different kind compared to the others, and should be somewhat more informative. 2 pages, 3 pages, difficult, do you feel it? No. Next thing is, now what we discussed, language and culture. The behavior with uncle is different from, sister is different from mother because of the linguistic term we give to them. Next is the variations in the language. First is the language, we studied linguistic anthropology. What are the components? The origin of language, the language and culture. Next is the variation. We have variations in language between the states. Karnataka has Kannada, Andhra Pradesh and Telangana has Telugu, Tamil Nadu has Tamil, Maharashtra has Marathi, Hindi, various languages. Now within them there are variations. Within Kannada there are variations again. Those are the dialects and accents. These are the variations. Fine. Those things you can explain here. Next, communication. Language is not just about verbal. It can be non-verbal also. That is the sign language. example as a sign language. If you tell this is a thumbs up, that is grand, that is okay. But in some other nations, it can be like a disrespect. That is due to sign language. Endangered languages also can be studied as a component. Endangered language, like UN has listed 42 languages as endangered. 42 languages as endangered. Socio-linguistics, that is social languages. What is socio-linguistic? Example is code switching. I'll tell you, this is a beautiful concept again. Say, this is me and this is my friend. He is not from Karnataka. I'll be like, Namaskara Guru, how are you? This is how I do it with a friend who doesn't know Kannada or any other native language which I know. But then, if someone comes from the Karnataka itself, I'll be like, Namaskara Guru, hegidya? Kaisa hai tu? Hegidya? If he comes from Hindi, I'll be like, Kaisa hai tu? If he comes from Telugu, I'll be like, hey, macha, etru now. This is how I do. And if he comes from Tamil Nadu, I'll be like, dey, eppudu irka? This is how I do. I do this because the language I speak, if I switch that language, if I change that language according to person, that is code switching, I'll get better relation. The rapport will be different. A better relation will be explored. That is called as code switching. Socio-linguistic, language according to the society. Socio-linguistic. Understood? Easy concept. This can be a question also. Code switching. We never know. In that way, you should be exploring. How? You can write IBC for 2 pages. Understood with scope. Next is relevance. Again the same. Preserving indigenous heritage. Connects language, identity and culture. Document oral traditions. If you have them, put it there. Understood with the scope of anthropology? Now we completed meaning of anthropology, scope of anthropology, or 4 main branches of anthropology. 4 main branches, the scope of each branch, the relevance of each branch. That is all about the chapter 1.3. Easy, right? Now, development of anthropology. I'll give you the summary before explaining them in detail. See, this is the summary. I told you, take 4 or 5 decades, 4 or 5 centuries, explore how anthropology has developed from that century to the current century. We'll start from 17th century, we'll come to the contemporary period, that is 2026. See, from 17th to 19th century, it was all about exploration. Exploration means exploring. Some person came, he roamed around the seas, he saw which all lands which he can discover. That is exploration. And natural history and Darwin. He gave origin of species. How species origin. How they adapted. Natural selection. Many concepts. Okay. That was more about 17th to 19th century. Then came 19th century anthropology. 19th century anthropology moved away from natural history and biology. That is the Darwin. Natural history, exploration and Darwin. It came to evolutionism. 19th century evolutionism, classical evolutionism. It came to that part. That is Taylor, Morgan and Fraser. We'll study each of them in the next class. Taylor, Morgan and Fraser came in the 19th century. They gave classical evolutionism. And these are the initial theorists of the anthropologists. Pioneer theorists. These 3 people are the pioneer theorists. Then came the early 20th century, that is around 1910s. Then came fieldwork. Franz Boas did the fieldwork. He gave 4 main branches of anthropology. He went to Kwakitul and then Malinowski came. He wrote Argonauts of Western Pacific in 1922. Then came Radcliffe Brown. He went to Andaman and Nicobar, Polynesian Islands, many places. Major focus was fieldwork. Why fieldwork? Because in 19th century, these people sat in their chairs, sat in their offices They got the information collected from the exploration documents. In 17th to 19th century, exploration happened, right? Historians traveled across the world. They wrote documents, they wrote diaries, histories. This was collected by the 19th century people. They read it in their offices. They wrote theories like what can be the culture, how the culture has evolved, why the culture has evolved. That was all about the 19th century evolutionism. But they didn't do the collection of data by themselves. That was the data by third person collected by these people, and they gave this theories. But that is wrong, right? That cannot be like that. You can't trust the data from a third source. You should explore the data. You should see the data from your naked eyes. Then that gains the credibility. That was criticized by early 20th century people. That is majorly Bose, Malinowski and Brown. They gave their own theories based on the fieldwork. Fieldwork means they went to the field, they collected the data. Next came the 20th century, mid 20th century, around 1950, 1960. Then came the structuralism ecology. These people told, okay, early 20th century people, you are criticizing the third party, you're criticizing the 19th century scholars, that is, they took the third party. But you people did the fieldwork. Then you are doing theories based on your thinking. You are thinking something and you are terming like, okay, this is what is happening in the field, and this could have been the reason. That is your thinking. That might not be true for a person in the group. That can't be true, right? So based on this, structuralism and various other concepts came, and ecology also came, like Levi-Strauss, Stewart, Harris, Geertz. Harris gave materialism theory. Then ecology, Stewart's, Geertz, many people. We'll discuss all of them in detail. In theorist, we'll get all of them in detail. Next came the contemporary period. That is the current generation. Current generation is based on applied and interdisciplinary. Applied and interdisciplinary. I told you what is interdisciplinary. Anthropology. It is based on this. Now it can be like, sir, we have this idea now. How can I write this as a 20 mark question? How can I explore it as a 20 mark question? What is the question? The development of anthropology as a 20 mark. Just 3 words. Development of anthropology, 20 marks. What will you do? You have anthropology definition. Put it down in the introduction. Next, evolution of anthropology is a major aspect. That can be the development. Go to the 19th century, 17th to 19th century. Exploration. You have a few theories on exploration. In the later part, put it down there. You have Darwin ka separate chapter. Put it down there. Write his book. Write his case study. Done and dusted. That will be one page. Next, second page. Go to 19th century. You have 3 people and their theories and their books and their case studies. Write it for 3/4 of the page. 3/4 of the page is now done and dusted. Next, come to the early 20th century. Write the field works. Bose, Malinowski, R.C. Brown. Write their works. Write their case study. Write their books. Done and dusted for 3/4. Now 2.5 pages dusted. Done and dusted. Now, mid 20th century. Structuralism, ecology, various concepts. Postmodernism can also be done. Then this becomes another 3/4 page. 2/4 is done now. Next, contemporary, half page. 3/4 of the page is done now. Keep 1/4 of the page for conclusion. What is there here? It is your thinking. Get to know what should be written in the examination. Get to know what should be written in the examination. Study that. Then your things will become simpler. Don't be like, I'll study what should be studied for the examination, then I'll think like what should be written in the examination. It is reverse. Get to know what should be written in the examination, then study what should be studied. Okay, then simplified. Conceptual clarity, answer writing structure, value addition. Easy. Now, we'll go back to in detail. I'll not detail it, I'll just list it because we already detailed it. Development of anthropology. I told you can write evolution after the definition of anthropology. You can keep it like from colonial documentation to a modern holistic science. Anthropology has been developed in such a way that can be your connecting line. Then development of anthropology. Early roots in the 17th and 19th century. Focus is about classification and human origin. Classification and human origin. Human origin by Darwin majorly. Key figures was Linnaeus, Blumenbach, Darwin. Laid biological and scientific foundation for the 19th century. Easy. You have 3 scholars. Next, classical evolutionism. No need to explain this. Separate chapter is there. Taylor, Morgan and Fraser. Next, field work. Again need to explain this. Who all are there? Malinowski, Boas, R.C. Brown. Modern theory, that is mind structures, ecology and symbols. You have Levi-Strauss, Stewart, Harris, Geertz. Many people. Next, contemporary. We will be having applied solution and advanced technology, DNA, forensic and all those things. Easy, right? Not a big task, right? Next is relationship of anthropology. This is chapter number 1.3. Chapter number 1.3. And hats off to all those people who have stayed with me for the past few, I don't know how much time it took. It was all fun for me to explain. But hats off to all the people who have stayed with me for a long time. I am just here to simplify our things. See, what are the subjects? The chapter is like relationship of anthropology with other disciplines in the syllabus. The disciplines are social science, behavioral science, we studied in the early minutes. Behavioral science, life sciences, medical sciences, earth sciences, humanities. These six. These were asked in the syllabus. Question will be like, explore the relationship of anthropology with life sciences, relationship of anthropology with behavioral sciences. Now, to create a IBC answer structure, what you should have is introduction. Introduction will be the definition of each of them. And anthropology definition also. Because they are asking relationship of this life science, this science and particular anthropology. Bring both of them in introduction. Give it a theorist. Give it theorist to both of them. A scholar for both of them. You are giving 2 definitions, 2 scholars in introduction itself. Examiner already impressed. We'll study each definition of them. I'll give them. I'll not repeat the definitions. I'll give it in a PDF copy. Just 1 definition for each of them. Easy, not a big task. Next, relationship. Relationship, I told you commonality. See, one is social science. One is the social science. How is social science? Social science is about scientific study of the society. Scientific study of the society. That is just a part of socio-cultural anthropology. Socio-cultural is about society and culture. Social science is about society. Socio-cultural anthropology is scientific study of society and culture across time and space. Social science is just a study of society. So, what commonalities will come there? You know this basic aspect. Now we explore the components. Now we explore various syllabus parts. Various syllabus for society is family, marriage, kinship, polity, economy, religion, blah blah blah. What is there? Studies society. Relationship is studies society holistically and cross-culturally. Holistically and cross-culturally. It will be interdisciplinary, holistic. Cross-culture means across cultures. Across culture means comparison. It can be time and space. Fine. Key areas can be family, kinship, religion, caste, economy. It can be polity also. It can be kinship also. Kinship is written right. It can be descent. And many other things. Now, sir, this is a 20-mark question. You are giving just this much. You are telling this much. How can this be 20-mark question? Now you tell me, sir. Think, sir. Give a 20-second exercise for a brain. How can this be IBC? Think. I'll give you 20 seconds. Think. What is your introduction? I already told introduction. 2 scholars, 2 definitions. That is your introduction. Now you have a body. Leave about conclusion. You will gain the conclusion over the period. Conclusion is not a big task if you have the introduction and body. What will be the body? What is the relationship? Can you think of it? I told you largely. Now you should get a hold of it. What is the body? Body will be like, sir, social science, study of society scientifically. We have socio-cultural anthropology. More or less, I can utilize the components of society and culture and I can put it always related to social science. Always related to social science. And I should bring for each component one theorist. I'll be studying anyways in the other chapters. That is in the chapters of society and culture. I'll be studying them. I'll be putting each of them here. Done and dusted. Now this you'll write the relationship. Next you'll write points of relationship. Those are, you'll explore the family. You'll write 1/4 of the page on family only. You'll write what is the family, how is the family, how it is connected to society, who the theorist relating to it, what is his work, what is his case study. Based on this, you will write even 2-3 pages, but enough, half page is more than enough. You have the content. Family, there is separate chapter on family. So many familiar types is there, evolution is there, origin is there, change of family is there, case studies on family is there. Many are there. Don't overstudy, smart study again. Next, kinship, separate chapter is there, same. Explain what is kinship, how the kinship variation across the culture, how it is part of the society, who studies it, what is his work, what is his case study. Easy. Explore religion. Tell what is religion, how it is related to the society, how it is related to society, then who studies the society, what are his or hers case study or work or book, anything. Next, similarly caste, similarly polity, similarly economy. Easy. See, you can write even 10 pages because each of them is a chapter. Now we have the relationship. Nothing to confuse. Anthropology is the most easiest subject, most easiest optional. Okay. Next, behavioral sense. Behavior is about how you behave in the society. Behavior means how you behave in the society, be it primates or non-primates. Okay. The how we behave in the society is behavioral science. Scientific study of behavior. That is contextualizes human behavior in culture. Human behavior in a culture, in a particular culture, is called as behavioral science, and this is the relationship with anthropology. What all can be the subheadings? It can be personality. It can be personality. You have the personality school studies. Personality school studies. There is a separate chapter in there is personality school. Those can be written here. Fine. Next, socialization. Child socialization, women socialization, men socialization, many things are there. You can write it down here. And you have tribal socialization, easy. And you have theorists, cognition, how you understand things. You have a separate cognition theory. And you have group behavior, how you behave when there is a group. Just that you should understand what are the subcomponents. Remember them, you can do wonderfully. Anthropology is easy if you remember them, because each one of them is a chapter. You have so much content to do. Next, life sciences. What is life? What is study of life? Analyzes humans as biological organisms is called as life sciences. That is more or less biological anthropology. What is there in the biological anthropology again? Evolution, genetics, primatology, adaptation, blah 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 blah. We studied so much. All the biological anthropology what you studied there, put it down here. This is called as life sciences. Okay, and put down the theorists. Next is medical sciences. Medical sciences explains socio-cultural aspects of health. Medical sciences is not just about the medicine or what to take as a cure. That is not just the medical science. Medical science is a holistic subject that is studying health as part of the society and culture. Society and culture. That is medical science. That is medical science. And this holisticity is usually explored by anthropology. The technical details are explored by medical science. The technical details are explored by medical sciences. But studying the technical details, why allopathy, why homeopathy, why Ayurveda, that is explored by anthropology. So you can keep it like public health policy, public health management. That is one point. Nutrition in Western, African, Indian. Epidemiology, study of diseases. Bioethics, ethics in bioethics, ethics in biological aspects. All those things. You can write all of them, right? Just remember the components. Of course, I'll be giving in detail for each one of them, in detail for each of them in the PDF. Next is earth sciences. What is earth sciences? It can be either geography, or geology. Geography or geology is called as earth sciences. So the relationship of anthropology will be like reconstructs prehistory and human adaptation. Reconstructs prehistory and human adaptation. The knack is bring down the archaeological anthropology here, you are done. Geology means the earth and below more or less, all the fossils and everything, put it down here. Geography, environment and everything comes down here, adaptation and everything, put it down here. It will be like fossils, stratigraphy, carbon dating, paleoclimate. Archaeology has so much of concepts. At least 150 marks comes from the archaeology. Then what less you have to write it for 10 marks here? No, it is easy, right? Next is humanities. Humanities applies scientific analysis to the culture. Scientifically analyzing the culture is called as humanity. See, folklore, myth, art, music, oral traditions, many things. You can write each one of them. Just that I am telling. Understand what to write first. What to write first. Understand what to write first. How your answer should be. What should be your introduction? What should your body? What should be your conclusion? Then you can search for the content. Search for the content. Search for the content shouldn't be the ultimate aim. It shouldn't be the ultimate aim. It should be the structured and a smart way. A smart way. If you know the components, if you know a particular chapter based on that, if you know a theorist, if you know an example, you're in a very good manner. You're in a very good position. Easy? Easy with this? And then there can be a universal. This one conclusion I have listed in the today's class. I am not pushing conclusions because it will come slowly. I am giving it only one conclusion for 1.3. For entire 1.3 chapter, be it relationship with any sciences, this can be the conclusion. Okay? See, conclusion can be like anthropology is the interdisciplinary and holistic science. Anthropology is interdisciplinary and most holistic science as per the Cluck-on. You can put Cluck-on here in the conclusion itself if you want it. Cluck-on. As per the Cluck-on, and it borrows concepts, methods and theories. Concepts, methods and their theories from what all sciences you studied. If only social science is asked, even then you mention all the sciences in the conclusion. Even though only one science is compared in the question, mention all the science in the conclusion. Social science, behavior science, life science, medical science, earth science and humanities to understand human in biological, social, cultural, linguistic and historical dimensions. Hence, anthropology is often regarded as the mother of social sciences, mother of all social sciences and most comprehensive study of humankind. Most comprehensive study of humankind. If you read this much, you can write at least 4 to 5 lines of conclusion. Easy, right? Now, you know a conclusion for entire chapter 1.3. Entire chapter 1.3 with a theorist name also. With a theorist name also. Easy with this? Easy, right? Now you know the content. Now you got all the concepts for chapter 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. Usually, what amount of teaching hours takes for 1.1, 1.2 and 1.3? At least 5 days, sir. At least 15 hours, sir. At least 15 hours it will be taken. But now, 1 hour, it is easy. Now, 5 most important questions. More or less, you know everything. I'll discuss. One is define anthropology. You know definition of anthropology. Introduction is done. Describe the major branches of anthropology, elaborating on any one branch. What are the 4 main branches of anthropology? Now, what will be the answer for this? What is the question? Define anthropology. Describe major branches of anthropology, elaborating any one branch. This was a PVQ in 2017. This was a PVQ in 2017. So, how can you write the answer for this? How can you write the answer for this? I told you, answer should always be in what format? IBC format. What will be your introduction? Think before I tell. What will be your introduction? They have asked define anthropology. What will be your introduction? Why is there is a blur here? I don't know why there is a blur here. So, meanwhile, you think what can be your introduction? Next, body, and next conclusion. Introduction, body, conclusion. Even if this is not there, I am fine, I am happy. But you should be in a position to answer the above two components. That is the introduction. What will be your introduction? You have the definition by three people. Explore any one of them. You have a beautiful introduction. Or it is a 20 mark. It is a sub question. In that place, what you should be doing is, if you know two or more introduction definitions, write two, enough. Then two definitions and meaning. You know what is the meaning of anthropology? I gave you 7 components. Anthropology meaning, I gave you 7 components of the anthropology. Write them so that there is at least 1.5 page on what is anthropology, and there is at least 1.5 page on what is anthropology, because there is only 2 parts of question. Define anthropology or what is anthropology. Next is what are the main branches, explore any one of them in detail. That is the question. Since it is only define, and if it is only define anthropology, define it in 1 or 2 definitions, leave it. If it is sub question like what is meant by anthropology, then at least 1.5 page. At least 1.5 page. At least you should give 30 to 40% of the weightage to them. Okay. Next, that is introduction and the body part. Next, in the main body, they asked what are the main branches of the anthropology. Main branches of the anthropology. Who gave the 4 main branches of the anthropology? It was given by Franz Boas. Franz Boas gave the 4 main branches of the anthropology, and you know the 4 main branches of anthropology. That is socio-cultural, biological, archaeological, and linguistic. Define each one of them. You will get 4 theorists again. You know definitions, you will get 4 theorists again. See, here you are having 2 theorists. Franz Boas is the 3rd one. Now we have 4 theorists. Already 7 theorists are completed. Next, you have to explore any one of them in detail. Keep it like biological or anything, whichever is your easiest components. Then explore each of the component in detail. You can keep on reiterating case studies, theories, their works, examples, facts, figures, diagrams, etc. That will be easy. Body is not a difficult thing. We discussed each one of them in detail. Now what is left here? Conclusion. Though even I am not worried as of now, because I need you people to understand the concept, think the concept and notes as per the demand of the question. That is, understand the structure. Then you are in a well placed manner and position to get 300 plus. Easy question. Do I need to discuss more? We already discussed. We are utilizing the knowledge, the syllabus to answer this. Next, what is the second question? The second question tells scope and relevance of social and cultural anthropology. Scope and relevance of socio-cultural anthropology. Direct question. Directly define socio-cultural anthropology in the definition. Go for the body. Define the scope, various scopes, and keep some 3 to 4 relevances. Easy, dusted. Anthropology is a systematic objective and study of humankind in all times and places. Elaborate the argument. In all times and spaces. Now it is slightly tricky, sir. How many marks, sir? 20 marks. All times and spaces. All times means you should start with chronology. That is all the times. Prehistoric to the current. That one aspect you can explore in the 1 second. Oh. See, anthropology is systematic and objective. And what is systematic, objective, and study? Means systematic and objective more or less means to scientific, right? Science is nothing but systematic and objective. That is scientific. They are telling anthropology is a scientific study of humans in across times and places. Now they are asking, now we should elaborate this argument. Now we'll elaborate this argument, right? Now I need you to think what can be your IBC. What will be your IBC now? What will be your I? That is the introduction. B. Conclusion is fine. What will be your introduction? They have asked anthropology, so I'll define anthropology. Anthro definition, 1 or 2, more than enough. Introduction done, dusted, easy. Now they're asking scientific study across time is one aspect and across space is other object. Across time is one aspect and across space is other aspect. Now you go to the time. Time means explore from Paleolithic to current place, current age. Now within that what you should do is explore this aspect, archaeological anthropology from Paleolithic to cultural. Within this aspect you should explore the 4 main branches. Within the aspect of chronology, explore how the biology played a role, what is socio-cultural in that, and what is the linguistic aspect in that. And archaeology need not, because this itself is archaeology. Connect these 3 to the archaeology. That becomes across the time. Now across the space. Now the second component is across the space. What is across the space? Across the space means across the continents. Across the continents. Across the continents, what you can explore? Again, this is the space aspect. Again, you can explore how the biology variation happens between the space. The space is majorly 3 main regions, that is European, Asian, and European is one, Asian is one, the other one is American or Latin American, or you can also keep it like European, Asian, African. This will be easier than Latin rather than the Latin. Compare these 3. Compare the biological aspects of these 3 biological aspects can be like evolution, morphology, that is the race, and the diseases. Many other things we'll be studying later. That is the biological aspect. Second thing is, see, biology across the continents. Biology across the continents. Second thing is socio-cultural across the continent. Socio-cultural across the continent. What is socio-cultural? The family across. Socio-cultural includes family, religion, kinship, polity, economy, many aspects. Now you explore each one of them in the continents. Now you have the theories also. Then you will be having the language across the continents, the symbols of language, that is thumbs up here is good, thumbs up elsewhere is bad, and many other things. And what is that? Code switching. You can also use code switching. Code switching in India is very important. Code switching in America is less important, because languages there is no more or less one language, that is English. Europe also similar. Next, language can be used, and behavior based on the language, many things, easy, right? And what else can you write? This is more than enough to write 10 to 20 pages, but still I am telling. See the division, structuring of the answer. They asked clearly scientific, that is what they named it for the scientific, systematic is nothing but scientific. Scientific means anthropology. Time and space. Time means chronology. Go to the chronology, connect to other disciplines. Space means continents. Go to the space or continents, connect the other disciplines and components and theories. Kavilem. Easy. Did we study this question seriously? No. Are we still able to answer in a beautiful manner, structured way, like the toppers? How? Because our thinking has changed, our way of writing. That is why I am always stressing the way you think. I am always stressing on the way you should think. What is this? Oh, sorry. Next question. Next question. Elaborate the scope of anthropology and elucidate its uniqueness in the field of other social sciences. What is, now the answer should be like, you should elaborate what is the scope of anthropology. You know the scope of anthropology. Next, elucidate its uniqueness in the field of other social sciences. You should list other social sciences which you already know, and you can define it if you want it with theorist, if you know that. When it comes to uniqueness, what is the uniqueness of the anthropology? Scientific, interdisciplinary, holistic, time, space, etc. These are the uniqueness. This is more or less the scope, but the way you write here, you differentiate here, becomes a matter. So when it comes to scope, you write the four main branches here. The four main branches as the scope of anthropology. When it comes to uniqueness, you write the components of the anthropology. That is the meaning of the anthropology. Meaning becomes systematic, scientific, interdisciplinary, holistic, across time, across space, many other things which we studied in the first slide. I will show you. This is the first slide we studied. See, now this will become a unique aspect of anthropology. Scientific study. Is history scientific? No, history is not scientific. Is anthropology scientific? 100% sir, it is scientific. Unique. You can write it. You can write a theory. You can write a theorist. Fine. Next, holistic. I gave you example for holistic, that is tribal study. You can write a theorist. Holistic. Study across time. Just now we discussed a concept or question based on that. Study across space, easy. Human unity and diversity. There is diversity in anthropology. Still, it aims for unity. That is easy. Interdisciplinary. What else you need for the uniqueness? What else you need for the uniqueness? And there is constant change in the anthropology. You also know what is a constant change. That is the development of anthropology. History is same since 2000. History means history only. It is written, it is studied. That is history. What is anthropology? Anthropology is not like that. In 19th century, anthropology is different. Now anthropology is different. So many changes. That is also one of the unique nature. So, you have that, now you know the answer for that question, right? Easy, right? Not a big task. You can answer them. Next, what is the next question? Fifth question. Critically examine the role of anthropology in contemporary India. What is this, yaar? Role of anthropology in contemporary India. I'll tell you. Relevance of anthropology. Role of anthropology means relevance of anthropology, and to maintain the uniqueness and to maintain the answer structure, what you will do? What you will be dividing? You will divide anthropology again into biological, socio-cultural, linguistic, archaeological, and relevance of each of them in India, and writing an example, a theorist and his work. You have anthropology definition, you have 4 branches, you have relevance, putting it down there, easy. See, anthropology is a simple subject. Don't complicate it. Don't think like anthropology has so many subjects. I have to get a doctorate in all the subjects to complete anthropology. It is like anthropology. If you want to clear anthropology, if this is a subject, study only until year. Don't go till year. If you go till year, you won't clear anthropology. Forget UPSC. That is what it happens. You should study in a manner so that you should apply whatever you have studied on the question paper. If you study beyond that, it is waste of time, waste of energy, over complication for the brain, and you cannot structure the answers. What you will do with the over knowledge? Over knowledge is not required. You should do the hard work for the answer writing and answer structuring. You should do the smart work for the note making and the thinking process. 2 things will clear. Value addition, conclusion we'll discuss slowly, gradually it will come, believe me, it will come. But right now I hope you people got the clear insights, a knack of how to make a notes, how to utilize the notes in answer writing. These are 5 questions and I challenge you, go to the 35 years of previous year anthropology questions of chapter 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, just list them down and try to brush up the answer for every one of them based on the class which I have done. If you cannot answer them, I'll stop these classes from the next class. I'll not do that. I challenge you, you can do them. If you cannot answer them, I challenge you, I'll stop these classes from the next class. I'll not be doing these classes. I have this confidence because anthropology is simple. If you structure it, anthropology is done and dusted. How much time you need to study 3 chapters now? 20 minutes, 25 minutes, hardly 30 minutes. What time you need to make notes now? No notes required. Notes is already made. Notes is already made. All you have to do now is go back, study it, remember it, and after some time, write a test series. Complete the 45-day series, write the test series then. And for the people who are already in 2026, the mains examination, for those people who have qualified for 2026 ka mains examination, I wish a very best for your examination. Utilize the content and make sure you clear the examination. Okay? And people who have not cleared for 2026, watching these videos for 2027 and further, get this content, keep it at one place. Then after some 45 days of this challenge, what you do is enroll to some test series, enroll to any test series, be it with us or with anybody. Then what you should do is write the answers, write the PVQs. Daily 5 questions of PVQ you should solve, and on a weekly basis or for 3 or 4 days once, you should write a test on anthropology. Then I guarantee 300 plus is not a big task. So, and I'll also show you how the notes will be there. I already showed you how the notes will be there. This is my notes. I'll give you a soft copy of this. You can go back to the Upsmart IAS or Nishta IAS ka Telegram channel. You can download these notes. It is beautifully written and very simplified. Very simplified concepts. You have the syllabus, day 1 syllabus, 3 chapters, and entire chapters ka notes. Meaning of anthropology, 3 definitions. The scholars. Meaning of anthropology, the 6 aspects, the examples, etymology, the description, and this is one of the diagram. Scope or 4 main branches: biology, definition, scope, relevance. Sociocultural, similarly. Archaeological, similarly. Linguistic anthropology, similarly. Development of anthropology. Anthropology evolved from travel accounts, natural history and colonial studies into a scientific, holistic and interdisciplinary study today. This can be your interlinking statement. Then what you do? Early roots. I told you, I give a brief summary how it evolved. But here I have given you what should be utilized for the off page so that you can use this knowledge for the examination. Here I have written in a brief manner. This is enough. More than this is not enough. And more than this, you will be studying in the further chapters for sure. That is there. Classical evolutionism, fieldwork, modern theoretical developments, contemporary anthropology, a summary. Next, relationship of anthropology with other disciplines. I told you, I'll be giving you each discipline ka definition. That will be your introduction. Along with that discipline definition, you'll be having anthropological definition. Discipline ka definition, you will already have anthropology definition. You have the relationship, what the relationship is. Now you have the components. You have many components. Like I told, social means family, kinship, marriage, religion, economy and political. This is what we discussed. There are other components also like organization, law, caste, tribe, social stratification, social change, rural and urban studies. You can pick at least 5 to 10 of them. At least 5 is more than enough. 5, if you write 5 of them, meaning of them, theorist, their work, a case study, an example connected to the social science, you are already in the top 1% of the anthropology. This is how an advanced notes making will be done. Next, relationship again, universal definition. All you have is 7 pages ka handwritten notes. 7 pages ka handwritten notes. This can be downloaded by getting to the Upsmart IAS ka Telegram channel. Go to that, join the Telegram channel. you can download these copies on a daily basis, and what I will be doing is, while you get near to the 45-day challenge, I will compile all the notes, I'll compile all the PDFs, and I will be releasing these PDFs as a book. It will be around 380 to 400 pages notes. It will be hardly around 380 page notes. In that 380 page notes, I will be giving important questions also, so that you can practice them, and these beautiful notes which can be utilized for any question with my classes. So 300 plus guaranteed. And what you should be doing apart from this: conclusion, thinking gradually; diagrams, thinking gradually, which you will get in the upcoming classes. Believe in that. Right now I am focusing on I and B. C, that is a conclusion. VA, that is a value addition. Gradually I'll pick it up. So this is about the Anthro Astra which we spoke about. I hope every one of you have enjoyed these classes. This was much useful for your anthropology preparation. 300 plus, no doubt, if you prepare in this strategy. And this is your Reddy Prakash. I hope all of you will have a great future, clear this examination, and also like, share and comment to our channel, and subscribe to our channel. Click on the bell icon. All the best. Thank you. Bye bye. See you in the next class.